Hello there folks, I'm Dan Brown from asortofinterestinlife.com. You're joining me on board good old Narrowboat Tilly, and today I've probably got the fanciest unboxing and review of any product that I will do for a very, very long time, if indeed ever again, and that is an unboxing and a few thoughts on this. This is a 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro. This is the 256GB version, 8 gigs of RAM and 2.6 GHz Intel i5 dual-core processor. Right, I think I got all of those numbers and letters in the correct order. So, what we're about to do is see me disappear into a little box somewhere in the top corner of the screen, and then we shall have a quick time-lapse of the unboxing, because I know that you don't want to just see another person unbox. So I've been using it for a few days now, and I'll just share a few random thoughts. Right, let's dive in and have a look. So this is replacing my old MacBook Air that I've been using for about 4 years now, and even when I bought it back then it was second hand, so you can imagine a MacBook Air intended to be a low spec super portable laptop is never going to be the greatest powerhouse of computing, even at the best of times, least of all when you're using a 4-year-old, even second hand back then, computer. So as time's gone on and I've been silly enough to keep updating the operating system, it's just got slower and slower. And one of the things that I've really noticed is as I've upgraded my cameras, and basically now I'm recording just on an iPad and an iPod, even trying to edit footage off those is just unbearable, even using the old version of iMovie. And something like 1080p GoPro footage of my bike rides, I cannot edit at all on there, with well, basically because when you edit your video and then press play to view it back, it will show you the video in frames per minute, and it'll literally have the sound running normally, but unfortunately it's basically showing you a series of still images, sometimes with literally over 20 seconds between the refreshes of what it should be playing as just a straight normal sort of 20 odd frames per second video. So that's definitely not ideal, and that's why I thought, you know what, I've been looking at these laptops for a long time, I'm just going to go for it. So hopefully when it comes to recording my audiobooks in the next couple of months and things like that, it's going to pay off having a computer that's actually up to modern standards. Right, diving into the actual MacBook Pro itself and just a few thoughts on it. I'm amazed, obviously coming from such a slow old computer, that it can do so many things so quickly. And something like the new version of iMovie, for example, I'm really impressed at, where I can fetch footage onto the computer itself and just have it there, and it takes no seconds to come across USB 3 or what have you. But then, whereas in the old version you would have to drag and drop into that footage then into iMovie, and iMovie would process it, and it might take, again, on the old MacBook Air, literally hours to fetch in, like maybe 20 minutes of footage, for example. Whereas on this, you can, well, the other day I was just testing it out with a time-lapse, and I had a 25-minute long clip that was literally 3 gigabytes plus, 25 minutes just over, and I literally dragged it into the timeline, and probably within 1 second of me letting go and letting it drop into the timeline itself, it was ready for editing, and that I was just amazed at. And then editing a 25-minute clip, it was recorded on an iPod, so it's not like the world's greatest super amazing clear footage ever, but it's good enough for YouTube, I know that much. So that I was just absolutely amazed by, and it's something that I think is really reflected over the operating system and over all of the things in general, where just going on the internet, everything, like all websites, obviously given the website and your internet connection, but everything loads up really quickly, whereas I'm used to it, even on an iPad Air, having a little bit of lag and just a little bit longer to load times. So that I'm amazed by, because I thought the iPad Air was absolutely amazing, and well, let's be honest, it is. Right then, back to me in big screen mode, and I suppose we'll wrap things up with a closer look at the MacBook itself and a few final thoughts. Firstly, the Retina display is absolutely fantastic, exactly what it should be, crisp and clear and all the rest of it, and it doesn't make things look too bleached or washed out, such as the light streaming through the window is making my hand look right now. But really, I'm just impressed by the way that Yosemite, the operating system, works so quickly with so many different things. And that's not just things like, obviously, video editing and so on, but it's actual things such as basic day-to-day tasks like internet browsing, how quick videos load and stuff like that. And also, I'm amazed at just simple things like searching documents and how quickly you can go through, like spotlight search, pressing command and space to then be able to type the name of an app to launch. I always import footage from the phone or iPad or whatever through image capture rather than iPhoto. So being able to literally press enter and then within a second image capture is loaded is just fantastic. And I know that image capture itself is hardly the most processor intense, most difficult, complex app for it to load in a split second, but it's just something that, again, it sort of demonstrates that I'm certainly not used to that sort of quick response, we'll say that much. In terms of other things such as documents and that, when I was putting my last narrowboat book together, it was about 29,000 words long, and when I was editing it on the old MacBook Air, it was so slow that as I typed in words, I could look up at the screen and then see them appear letter by letter because it was that slow. So obviously something like that isn't happening with this, I'm very glad to say. And all in all, for general purposes, this might be a bit overkill if you haven't got a specific sort of more intense usage purpose for this. And I would say, again, it's Apple, it's 1,200 quid. Do you need that laptop? That's the question that you've got to ask yourself. As I can sort of try and justify it to myself, say, yeah, I'm going to do my audiobooks, and yeah, I've been using this old MacBook and it's really slow now and all the rest of it. So I can sort of just about justify that much to myself, despite how much my wallet may cry at the prospect and thought, and I dare not look at my bank account. But in general, I can't really say that I'm not really pleased with it, because as soon as I started using it and started fiddling around with iMovie and fiddling around with all the different bits and pieces and just seeing how quick that it worked, and I mean, it's USB 3, something like that I'm not used to. Being able to transfer like huge files from a hard drive to this in no time at all. It's just great. So in a surprising twist, I'm going to end this quick review with a sort of interesting thumbs up for the mid-2014 MacBook Pro, and say thanks very much for watching. Feel free to check out my other videos, especially if I've piqued your curiosity about boat life. Feel free to add me personally on Facebook and Twitter, or like the Facebook page if you want to see loads of canal scenery and general updates from life afloat. And feel free also, if you're particularly interested, in checking out my books available for the Kindle. Check out Amazon for The Narrowboat Lad, or check all of the links in the description below. Until the next time, have a fantastic day, keep it Mac-worthy, keep it boat-worthy, and farewell.